Hi, our topic was student accountability. What does that mean? We hear a lot about teacher accountability, but you don't hear much about student accountability. This led to some very interesting and informative discussions and some reflections on what we thought student accountability meant to us. So here you're going to see some of my colleagues discuss what it means to them, student accountability. Thanks.
Accountability 101. After all, it's all about communication. What if Jackson teachers were to collaborate with 6th grade teachers? Then go. Go to the 6th grade. Watch. Learn what Luther Jackson teachers need to learn. And that is to understand how best we can work to introduce our expectations, the ones that Jackson teachers have, to these students before they are about to make the transition to the 7th grade. Then, after we watch and learn, how about we have a mood of cooperation between Jackson teachers and elementary teachers? Maybe we could talk. Maybe we could listen to each other to build a bridge of understanding. Sort of like bridging that gap, bridging that transition between what 6th graders do and what 7th and 8th graders do. How about if we got together and did this before they come to Jackson as 7th graders? I think we can do this because it's all about communication.
Hi, I'm Debbie Wargo, and I'm part of the accountability cohort. As part of our learning process, what we realized was that the transition to middle school for our students can be very difficult. Difficult time for them, difficult time for their parents. It's a big change from the expectations placed on them in elementary school. As teachers, we want students to be prepared. We want them to come to class and still maintain that curiosity that they had in elementary school. We want them to be motivated to learn and, of course, engaged in the lessons that we all work so hard to design for them. Here's the reality check. What we observe in so many of our classes is that we have many students that appear to be unmotivated. They take this whole process of being here in school as just a rite of passage. It's something they have to do, and they don't really take it to heart and try to get as much from it as they can. So we want to find a way to get through this and make it something that maybe they can buy into. Without the buy-in, it's difficult to improve student motivation. So over the course of our learning process, we developed a plan in which we wanted to get advice from high school students that were former students here at Luther Jackson. Something along the lines of what I wish I had done differently while I was in middle school. For various reasons, we weren't able to go through with that and work with the high school. It would appear that it would have been too much of an undue burden on the high school teachers to ask them to collect that information for us from former students. So, plan B. Our attention turned then to using maybe parents and families of students as a strong ally in helping to hold the kids more accountable. And in order to do this, what we realized is we had to know, first of all, are the parents able to understand the meaning of middle school grades? Are they able to access parent view? And do they access parent view? And if they are doing that, how are they holding their students accountable, if at all? Are they putting any pressure on their kids in a good way to try to help them do better? And if they are doing that and they're having success with it, then what advice would they have for teachers or for other parents? Because the skill sets of all the parents are different, the skill sets of teachers are different, and the skill sets of the students that we deal with every day are different. There is no magic bullet is what we're finding out here. It's all difficult because this idea of student accountability is a very complex subject. But we're continuing to work together on learning what we can do to help improve that accountability in our classroom and then in turn help our students be more successful. Thanks for listening.
Hi Jackson, Linda Easwin, and I'm a member of the Cohort for Accountability. We all know that teachers fill many roles at school, and the one I'm going to focus on is student learning. So there are 4 critical questions for our collaborative teams, and those questions are, what is it that we want students to learn? How will we know if each student has learned it? What will we do if the student does not demonstrate understanding? And what will we do for students who have already mastered the content? Remember, these are always going to be our 4 critical questions. Now, I don't have the answers to these questions, but what I do have is a way to help us to remember that this is our focus. So, it's the CTABC. It's as clear as it can be. Do they know it? Can they show it? Are they a master or are they a disaster?